all is as it should be. And that's a frightening thing to think about when you're going through adversity, you know? But what if adversity is your teacher? What if adversity is the very thing required to provide you rated just for you?
Definitely. All right. So all right. The thing is, right? We are here because of karma. Like karma is action and reaction, cause and effect.
For the benefit of the people listening in, right?
Sure.
Now, here in this country, right? I am around a completely different language. I am not exposed to English language unless I am watching, you know, something on the computer. Swahili is a much more ancient, much more beautiful, much more efficient language than the English language, right? And the way the brain works when you are speaking English language or when you're having to interpret things into English is different from the way the mind works when you are exposed to a more ancient language. And so a lot of the terms that we are choosing to use, like beings and spiritual and, you know, all of these terms, some of these words are only necessary because we are communicating in the English language, right? And so when the experience we have of other beings and entities, it's a different way that you would communicate it. So a lot of times we get caught up in the semantics and we end up in arguments with people when really and truly we mean the same thing, you know? And there are certain that were metaphors that have become literal things because they were translated through Eurocentric ears. Yeah. And Eurocentric brains do not necessarily understand a holistic approach. Worse when now you're looking at the world from a more patriarchal, masculine vibration. And nothing is wrong with the masculine, but there are certain things that are not to be interpreted through that. They have to be interpreted through the balance. And so while we are using these concepts, and when you hear Kabaka using terms, you know what I mean? Some of them might be very triggering to people because, again, this is the limitation of having to have this conversation in the English language. Yeah? So as we listen, we have to listen less with our brains and more with our hearts, because things might resonate in your heart and your brain will literally tell you to resist it. Yeah? So like I'll see some people in the comments here now, and, you know, because you're talking, you know, in a way that kind of fight out, or it seems like it's fighting against the use of grabber and 24/7 smoking. You have people whose demons, for lack of a better word, are going to react negatively and make them feel like you are literally, you know, quarreling with them.
I thought I was talking too positively about grabber, like me. I gotta encourage people to go about grabber. That's how me I to myself.
So the moment you say anything that they don't like, you know what I mean? And
yeah, but that no nine. That
people don't want to be disturbed.
That is something where I are starting to accept. So no matter what you do and what you say and what your intention is, people are gonna take it the wrong way. Like I made some posts the other day. You know, I did it on YouTube and I did it on Facebook just to kind of see what the fans them approve, because as I mentioned to you, I've been investing some money in some crypto projects, and I feel like these things can be very lucrative for the community. I was reaching out to say, yo, if the fans them would have been interested in hearing about some of these kind of things. You know, cause, all right, for me, you know, my music, you know, no capitalist, never gonna be a slave. I take an approach where I feel like the economic imbalance in the world is one of the major issues where I feel to address. You know, and I feel like the whole thing with cryptocurrency, there's an aspect of it that's tied into the spiritual evolution of what we're dealing with, you know, where the decentralized aspect of it, where, you know, we're coming from a system where the banks control everything, you know, and everything runs through them, and them basically control how your whole economic and socio-economic structure is developed. Now, with cryptocurrency, you find where you can be in control of your own finances. You can borrow and lend based on just your ability to yeah, exactly. And there's nobody telling you, say, you can't do this, or you can do, or you have to apply for this, and then them look at your social security number and all of them kind of, and look at your tax, look at your tax record, and look at your credit score and all of them kind of thing. It's like you are in control, and the banks them will give you like 0.1% per year upon your money. while them a take your money and invest it on the forex market and the stock market and all of these kind of things, and making billions with it, where you can be doing certain projects on crypto and you're getting 8% per day, you're getting 20% per day, you're getting 60 to 100% per year upon some type of projects. And I'm saying, like, why doesn't everybody know about this? Why doesn't every youth in the ghetto know about this? And like, yeah, right now,
life is a risk. Everything is a risk.
Everything's a risk. Everything. No, but the point I was making, people are saying, oh, Rasta, Renta Dread, Rasta, I talk about Babylon thing and all of them kind of thing. I mean, I say, like, people, come on, man. Come on, like, I should be talking about farming and all of these kind of things. Yeah, that well and good. Me sing about that, me talk about that all the time. But at the end of the day, is everybody in a situation where them can farm and feed them families? We should get there. But if you can just have your money working for you and you can go plant your food and do your thing and know say you can eat what you are grow, but you have your money working, you don't have to worry about that side of the thing there. You can be creative, you can paint if you want, you can do anything you want to do after that if your money are work for you. I'm like, what?
Cool. It is cool. And a man that is afraid of a tool is a lazy man.
A lazy man. Like,
work and he's
done.
Out a thing, then go and learn how it can serve them, right? And if you don't take responsibility and learn about it, it could be like when smartphones were just invented, yeah. And people can't bother learn about that. Like all of your granny, all know some old people don't want to learn about certain things, and they will never have access to even Web 2.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so now our children are growing up; they are completely exposed to certain things. I was thinking the other day, right? It's like you're gonna seem like an extremist now if you say I want to raise my children outside of the, watching television and certain types of toys and whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some or lifestyle or whatever. I want to raise my youth in that kind of way. And it's like, whoa, you're going to deprive the youth of this and you're going to do that. But 30 years ago, those weren't even options. And I like the result. So what if I just move those things out of the way during the formative years to ensure that the youth don't have to be limited by other imaginations? Yeah? What if I do that? And then if at the same time I'm providing them with information about the tools that are going to be available, then they now can create anything from those tools because they have not been, seasoned with, okay, that's what that tool is for.
Exactly.
So it's like a child who take to a musical instrument and create a brand new sound because nobody taught them how to use the instrument.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how I feel about my entrance into the whole NFT and crypto world. I'm learning the principles of these tools. So like, decentralized autonomous organizations, that I love that example. Even within cryptocurrencies, I'm not really trading so much. My thing is more, I found one or two that I feel like these are the ones that I can get the most benefit out of. And I just buy them and hold them down.
Sure.
Right? Down, and I'm just buying more of them. And I'm putting them down because I'm putting them down for 5 years. I'm not thinking about them because they are inevitabilities. Right?
But that's the thing with
a man said that it's fun. Right?
Yeah.
I am a continent. And I want to find a way where I can connect with the world without having to travel because I don't really want to have to interact with the things that you have to interact with to travel these days, right? So how do I fulfill that part of my destiny? I have fulfilled one part. I am here. I have access to land in abundance at a very good rate. I have access to the farming techniques that I need, some of the best seeds, all of these things that I would want. How do I now share them with the world? Huh? Cryptocurrency and Web3 give me the opportunity to create a decentralized autonomous organization, right? Where I can have people make the decision, do you want to be a part of this?
Exactly.
Let's determine a value for it and a currency for it, and it's tied to a real world thing. If I buy a gold mine, right? If I get money and do these things, there's complete transparency. And there is an opportunity for people to know that they own a piece of something for real. Exactly. On a contract, that space where you can't go around it, right? And all it requires is just a little bit of research and understanding so that you can see the value of it. And instead of looking at these things as possibilities, you shut the whole thing down. To me, that is ignorance. To me, that is like,
All right. That's all.
selfishness, you know, because there's some brilliant people who just need to be unlocked into this space because of information, but they would never do it because of whatever concept they have in their mind. But at the same time, they probably have very detrimental habits in their own personal life.
Yeah.
But they would outside the world have things to complain. Because you find the people who are complaining in life, you know, are the people who are having an unhappy life. Yeah, the people who want something to fight for. I remember when I started noticing a lot of the you know, the expats that were coming, the Black Americans coming, like it's like them don't realize you reach Tanzania, the fight is over, you know, you reach now. So what you plan to do? You're here and you want to form a group to complain, right? So all of these complaint groups, you come in the group to just vent and complain. But you're not there anymore. Like you literally aren't there anymore. Why are we even talking about that? What's the plan for moving?
That's my whole thing, because we grow up with a culture of struggle. It's like we grow up facing difficulties, you know, with the pressure from, you know, racism, from, you know, the socio-economic pressure of certain things. So it's like you just develop this antagonistic approach to everything. Everything is out there to hurt you. So it's like for me,
you will create a fight.
Yeah, exactly. And if we can create something where, you know, there's economic welfare for everybody and people grow up with that. And you know, you can just imagine how much people, just due to growing up within certain situations, it just lead to a lifetime of that kind of mentality. The only way to change it, that's why His Majesty was always about the balance of economic and spiritual growth and education and all of these things. Like it has, you can't think about spirituality if you don't have the right food to eat, or if you don't have food to eat, or you know, if you are worried about your bills them and all of them kind of thing. You can't get to a point where you're at peace. And there are people out there right now who, like, I'm in some of these groups, Nine, with them people, yeah, and the type of questions that them ask. These are not intelligent people, you know, but these people are making a lot of money. And it's just because they know what's happening. They know the contracts that are out there. And as you say, everything is transparent. You find out about a protocol that have so and so % interest. You go and look at the contract. You go and see what you can see every transaction. If somebody buys, if somebody sells, if somebody pump up, you can see everybody's transaction.
Contract.
Say that again.
Let's say you think you can go to the bank and ask them, please show me your contracts and let me see how you're spending my money, right? Nah. But you'd rather go put it in the bank when fiat is about to die, rather than taking personal responsibility. You'd rather say, oh, let somebody else do it, and curse a man who is trying to do it himself.
For sure. And then you have people now, which I am a bit skeptical of as well, that will say, you know, is cryptocurrency them are going to use to control humanity and thing. And the thing is, them can't control what you have in your wallet or what you do with your thing, but they can control the point of exchange. So if a certain place or store decides, say, yeah, we're taking this currency, or we're taking this currency through this method, you have to send it to this thing first before you can, then yeah, them can control that. But them can't stop me and you building something and creating our own system within ourselves, for ourselves. Them can't stop that.
That is the punchline, brother. That is the punchline and the drum roll. Yeah? And it is that we need to use these tools now when they're in their infancy and create our own financial independence. We need to create our own
gold mines. Gold mines, yeah.
We need to create our own food sources. We need to create our own shipping methods. All of these things are the challenge. So use your abilities, your intelligence to apply it with these new tools. So we're not telling you to go do what these guys are doing. We're telling you take the tool these guys are using and go do the work that you know you need to do. Because a time is going to come when if you can't act coffee, no matter how much money you have stored under your bed, you know, the day when
your system done, it done.
Don't mean nothing. That money is just what we all agree it means.
Yeah.
So let us make some other things mean some other things, right?
For sure.
You get me?
For sure. There's no stopping. There's
yeah.
no stopping the crypto thing. Like,
it's nearly midnight here, right? And
you there?
martial artist I am carried in my belly right now. So I am really, really grateful for this opportunity to share with you. Every time I get to share with Kabaka, it's always hours potentially, because there's just so much that we don't get to say in other contexts.
Definitely.
You know? So I'm being able to share with my brother where we just, it's a much more free process because of a foundation of understanding, of overstanding, you know? So we give thanks. And inner standing.
Enough love now.
So,
I mean,